Good morning. Let me ask you a simple question. How much is 1 hour of your life worth? Is it worth $1, 100, 1,000? What if I told you it's priceless? Because that 1 hour you waste today is an hour you will never get. Time is the only resource that is equally distributed among every human being. Rich or poor, old or young, famous or unknown. We all get 24 hours a day. But what makes the difference is how we use them. Too many people live like they have unlimited time. They keep saying, I'll start tomorrow, I'll change next week, I'll chase my dreams when I'm ready. But the truth is, there is no guarantee of tomorrow. The clock is ticking, whether you move or stand still. Time is not your enemy. Wasting it is. Every minute you spend scrolling aimlessly, complaining, or overthinking is a minute you could have used to grow, to learn, to take a step toward your goals. Winners and losers have the same amount of time, but winners use it with purpose. Losers waste it waiting for the right time that never comes. So, what will you do with the time you have left? Will you keep wasting it, or will you start living like every second matters? Don't let your dreams die in the someday drawer. Don't let regret become your future. Use your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Time is the one resource that cannot be bought, borrowed, stored, or reversed. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and recover with rest. But time, once it's gone, is gone forever. Every second that passes is a second subtracted from the total time you have on Earth. And none of us knows exactly how much time we've been given. That's what makes it so sacred. People often talk about being too busy or say, I'll do it later, without realizing that they are spending the most valuable currency they possess, their time, on things that don't serve them. Whether you're spending your day working toward your goals or endlessly scrolling through social media, you are spending time. And unlike money, you can't deposit time into a savings account. You can't pause it. You can't relive yesterday, and you can't fast forward to the good parts. This is why wasting time is one of the greatest mistakes we can make. When you say yes to unimportant things, you're saying no to moments that could have been meaningful. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you'd do something tomorrow, only to realize that weeks or months have passed, and you're still in the same place? Time is always moving. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. Doesn't pause when you're confused or lazy. It flows on hour by hour, whether you're productive or idle. And every second you're not acting on your dreams, someone else is. Someone else is building, learning, improving, while you're hesitating. The most successful people in the world understand this. They don't necessarily work harder than everyone else. They simply value their time more. They treat it as their most limited asset. They plan, they prioritize, and they make sure that their time is aligned with their vision. If time were a bank account, they don't spend it carelessly on things that don't grow them or move them forward. Instead, they invest it, wisely, deliberately, and with intention. And this isn't about working 24/7 or burning yourself out. It's about being aware of what your time is going toward. Every conversation, every habit, every decision is a deposit into the life you're creating. One of the most empowering and humbling truths in life is this. Every person on this planet gets the exact same amount of time each day, 24 hours, no more, no less. No one is born with extra time in their pocket. Whether you're a billionaire entrepreneur, a student in school, a single parent juggling jobs, or an aspiring artist trying to make a name, time doesn't discriminate. We all wake up to the same ticking clock. The major difference lies not in how much time we have, but how we choose to use it. Some people build companies, write books, transform their bodies, or change the world with those same 24 hours. Others spend it complaining, making excuses, or indulging in distraction. The time is equal, but the results are not. Why? Because successful people are intentional. They don't allow time to slip through their fingers. They manage it like it's a gift and a responsibility. It's easy to say, But the truth is, time is not the issue. Your priorities are. Think about how much time gets wasted every day on things that bring no value to your life. Scrolling through feeds, binge-watching shows, overthinking, gossiping, comparing, and procrastinating. These might seem harmless in the moment, but over days, weeks, and years, they pile up into massive lost potential. People who achieve greatness don't necessarily have more resources. They have more clarity and commitment. They know that how you spend your hours is how you spend your life. So they cut out time wasters, create schedules, set goals, and focus their energy on what truly matters. They don't wait for motivation, they build discipline. They treat time like a non-renewable resource and they fight to use it wisely. And this isn't about living a rigid life without rest or joy. It's about balance, awareness, and choices. It's about recognizing that you can't complain about not reaching your goals if you're spending most of your time doing things that don't bring you closer to them. You can either use your 24 hours to grow, or give them away to distractions. Procrastination is one of the most subtle yet destructive habits we develop. It doesn't always look dangerous. In fact, it often disguises itself as logic. I'll start when I'm ready, I work better under pressure, or I've got time. But beneath those excuses lies the truth. Procrastination quietly steals your potential piece by piece, day by day. It's a silent killer of ambition, momentum, and ultimately, of dreams. When you procrastinate, you're not just delaying a task. You're putting your goals, your growth, and your future on hold. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to begin. That unfinished book, that business idea, that fitness goal, that important conversation, they remain locked inside your imagination because you've convinced yourself that there will be a better time, but that a perfect time doesn't exist. Conditions will never be completely right. There will always be distractions, discomfort, and uncertainty. Waiting for the ideal moment only guarantees one thing: delay. What makes procrastination even more dangerous is that it feels safe. It gives you temporary relief. Relief from pressure, from fear of failure, from having to face the hard work. But that relief comes at a high cost. Every time you put something off, your mind builds a habit of avoidance. It becomes easier to make excuses and harder to take action. Over time, this erodes your confidence and creates a cycle of guilt, anxiety, and frustration. You start to feel stuck, not because you lack ability, but because you've become used to waiting. Some people spend years, sometimes their entire lives, waiting to begin. They carry dreams in their hearts that never make it into reality. Not because they couldn't do it, but because they kept saying, later. Imagine all the incredible things the world has missed out on because someone decided to start it tomorrow. The harsh truth is, procrastination doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you. It creates an illusion of control when in reality, it's robbing you of the one thing you can never get back: time. You're not avoiding failure, you're avoiding responsibility. You're not buying time, you're trading purpose for comfort. You don't need more time, you need to start. Start scared, start unsure, start messy, start before you're ready. Because the dream inside you will never become reality if you keep postponing the work that brings it to life. We live in a world that is louder, faster, and more attention-hungry than ever before. Notifications, social media, streaming platforms, constant news updates, all of these things are competing for one thing: your attention. And while each distraction may seem small, harmless, even entertaining in the moment, collectively they form a massive trap that slowly pulls you away from your goals, your purpose, and your potential. Distractions are dangerous because they are disguised as comfort. They don't come with warning signs. They don't shout, "I'm wasting your life." They whisper, "Just a few more minutes. This won't hurt." Or you've earned a break. But those few minutes turn into hours, and those hours become days lost to unproductive routines. In the process, your mind loses its sharpness, your vision begins to blur, and you find yourself drifting, not because you lack ambition, but because you're constantly interrupted. It's not just about wasting time, it's about what distractions replace. Every moment spent endlessly scrolling is a moment stolen from reading something meaningful, from learning a new skill, from working on your passion, or from simply being present with your thoughts. Distractions rob you of your ability to focus deeply, to enter a state of flow where real work happens, where creativity and clarity are born. The average person checks their phone hundreds of times a day. Every ping, every buzz, every random thought we chase down a rabbit hole online adds up. But what do we get in return? Most of the time, just noise. Noise that clouds the mind and exhausts the soul. You may think you're relaxing, but in truth, you're numbing yourself. And that comes with a heavy price. And the scariest part, they pull you away from yourself, from your purpose, from your deepest thoughts, from the silence where breakthroughs are born. People wonder why they feel stuck, why their dreams are still distant, why their life feels unfulfilled. Often, the answer lies in how much of their life has been lost to things that never truly mattered. You don't need more talent or motivation. You need less noise. You need to protect your time like it's sacred. Because it is. We live in a world that is louder, faster, and more attention-hungry than ever before. Notifications, social media, streaming platforms, constant news updates. All of these things are competing for one thing: your attention. And while each distraction may seem small, harmless, even entertaining in the moment, collectively they form a massive trap that slowly pulls you away from your goals, your purpose, and your potential. Distractions are dangerous because they are disguised as comfort. They don't come with warning signs. They don't shout, "I'm wasting your life." They whisper, "Just a few more minutes. This won't hurt," or "You've earned a break." But those few minutes turn into hours, and those hours become days lost to unproductive routines. In the process, your mind loses its sharpness, your vision begins to blur, and you find yourself drifting, not because you lack ambition, but because you're constantly interrupted. It's not just about wasting time. It's about what distractions replace. Every moment spent endlessly scrolling is a moment stolen from reading something meaningful, from learning a new skill, from working on your passion, or from simply being present with your thoughts. Distractions rob you of your ability to focus deeply, to enter a state of flow where real work happens, where creativity and clarity are born. The average person checks their phone hundreds of times a day. Every ping, every buzz, every random thought we chase down a rabbit hole online adds up. But what do we get in return? Most of the time, just noise. Noise that clouds the mind and exhausts the soul. You may think you're relaxing, but in truth, you're numbing yourself. And that comes with a heavy price. And the scariest part, distractions don't just pull you away from work. They pull you away from yourself, from your purpose, from your deepest thoughts, from the silence where breakthroughs are born. People wonder why they feel stuck, why their dreams are still distant, why their life feels unfulfilled. Often, the answer lies in how much of their life has been lost to things that never truly mattered. You don't need more talent or motivation. You need less noise. You need to protect your time like it's sacred. Because it is. Ideas are powerful, dreams are beautiful, and plans are necessary, but none of them mean anything without action. You can visualize success, talk about your goals, and write detailed to-do lists for years, but until you actually move, until you do something, nothing in your life will truly change. The difference between people who live their dreams and those who only talk about them isn't intelligence, luck, or background. Consistent, deliberate action. Far too often, people wait for motivation before they begin. They say, I'll start when I feel ready, or when the timing is right, I'll make my move. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting, and perfect timing is a myth. If you wait until you feel 100% prepared, you'll wait forever. The most successful people act first and adjust along the way. They don't always know what the outcome will be, but they trust that progress is only made through movement. Taking action, even in small steps, creates momentum. It builds confidence. Each time you act, you're proving to yourself that you are capable of following through. Action turns thoughts into results. It transforms invisible dreams into visible change. You don't need to take giant leaps overnight. Small, consistent steps lead to massive transformations over time. The key is to stop overthinking and start doing. Action also teaches you far more than planning ever will. You can study all the strategies in the world, but real wisdom comes from experience. When you act, you learn. When you fail, you grow. When you make mistakes, you gain clarity. But when you do nothing, you stay exactly where you stuck in a cycle of doubt, fear, and delay. Time doesn't pause for indecision. Every hour spent overanalyzing or second-guessing is an hour that could have been spent building something meaningful. You don't need more time. You need more courage to use the time you already have. Action turns minutes into movement, hours into progress, and days into legacy. It is the bridge between the life you imagine and the life you live. Your future is not something that just happens to you. It is something you are building brick by brick with the decisions you make every single day. The way you spend your time today is not isolated or insignificant. It is the foundation upon which your entire future is constructed. Every choice, every action, every minute invested or wasted shapes the life you will eventually live. Many people treat the present moment casually, as if it's disposable. They convince themselves that tomorrow will be different, that the real effort will start next week, next month, or next year. But what they fail to realize is that tomorrow is born from today. If you spend your time drifting now, your future will be filled with the consequences of inaction. If you fill today with purpose, focus, and intention, your future will reflect that discipline and dedication. Think of your time today as seeds. You can either plant seeds of growth, learning, and productivity, or you can let weeds of procrastination, distraction, and laziness take root. One day, you will look back at this exact moment and either be thankful for how you used it, or regretful for how you let it slip away. The future isn't some far-off, magical place where everything falls into place on its own. It is a direct reflection of your daily habits, and this applies to every area of life. If you want a healthy body in the future, it's built on the meals you eat and the exercise you do today. If you want financial freedom, it begins with how you spend, save, and earn in your present hours. If you want meaningful relationships, they grow from the attention, time, and care you give in this moment. Not someday. Nothing will change in your future unless you change something in your present. We often underestimate the power of small, consistent efforts made daily. 1 hour spent learning a new skill, 1 page written, 1 workout completed, 1 task finished. These are not small things. They are investments in the version of you that's coming. Your future self is watching and depending on your current self to show up, take action, and stay committed. No dream becomes real without time. And no time is more important than the time you have today. Time is the most valuable thing you will ever possess. It cannot be bought, paused, stored, or replaced. Every second is a gift, and how you use it defines who you become. If you want to live a meaningful life, you must stop wasting time on things that don't bring you closer to your purpose. Don't let your dreams sit on the shelf while you scroll through someone else's life. Don't let your talents go undeveloped because fear or comfort holds you back. Every great achievement begins with a decision to start right now. Not tomorrow, not next year, but today. The clock is ticking whether you move or not. The difference between those who live with regret and those who live with fulfillment is simple. One group waited, the other took action. So stop waiting, start doing, because your time is limited, but your potential is not.